It's Podraza. I'm not making any of this up. It's Pat. Been doing some thinking. I'm never going to be there again, other than a gentleman who comes into my life, takes me to the grave, and I bid farewell in that fashion state. Probably it's Sturbridge. I'm not clear at all of this thing on the phone business, and the photos were taken off, and I've about had enough of that. Finished with one lamp. They've been delivering it, and I'm thankful. Thank you for your time. That is all I wish to discuss. That's the end of it. Life will take me forward on this in a fashion, and I do have a strong faith that God will allow. If He can do it, He'll allow it. And that's the end of it. Thank you for your time. From both of you, that's all I can handle on this, and I wish to be quiet in here anyway. Take care of your lives. You're young. Go forward on it. And I am content in here. And I do believe a male has to come in and sit down and have dinner with me and spend some time in here, because it respects my son, and nothing else makes sense to me in any fashion at all, other than how I view that. Somebody tomorrow, I have to wait for a lamp, could even be meeting some mind out there that I don't hear often. Not in here, I don't hear it anyway. And that could be a setup also. There was a female on the bus wondering when I was going to a movie. Now, I've had it with that surveillance anyway. I can't stop it. I do live that alcoholic prayer, not the whole thing, the first 4 lines, and that is the way I'm going to live it. You're young. You have to get on with your life. There's no sense otherwise. I'll never be near New York unless there were a gentleman that entered and took me out to dinner. There are excellent restaurants. I will continue this way and be as respectful as I can and be as kind as I can. I never wanted to change my personality at all. Less than, always what I was. Have a good life. And morning, it's late enough, it's 10, and I know you start your day. Sent a couple, or few, 2 or 3, I'll keep track of emails that I think are important. But always ask me a question any time. Because of the subtleties I've dealt with, you're not answering whether that cat was found near a bridge is a problem. I was ruined in all fields. And I don't want anything to do with the Janus and the chakras or anything connected with their gut levels on anything at all. I don't view it that way, and nor did Ruth May. So that's out of the picture, period, anyway. I will ask on a certain element. I was ruined on psychic and ruined on any field, period. Now that is where we're beginning with, is ruination, period. Now, right now, I have to be, for myself in my future, have a mate and heal my relationship with Melanie and continue in good shape with my son. I have to think of myself first currently. I am not a me generation. That is part of that 60s culture also. I never was a me generation in women's lived routine. I mean, it was accepted in our family and accepted amongst an element of wealth, period. But right now, it has to be me first. And I do have to analyze the ruination part of this. This is not to hurt you, but I'm dispensable to them. You could even arrive and be brought in with your degree and your husband's. Now, I'm not faulting you for that. You've been lucky enough to have those degrees, and you do appreciate it. But I am 74, and they can put me in the trash, because net worth, I have none. I have no licensing. There is not continued track record of long-term employment. I have written this thing. and you've got it. I was doomed. When I say retiring, I was retiring, meaning that was it. The car was on the fritz. I sat down and saw the recoup and think of anything else I could do sitting down, or minimum amount of kneeling or walking at that point in time. I tried to recoup my options. Now, that'd hurt you. You have youth ahead of you. You have some money you've hardcore earned. I am no way faulting your options and your future. And I'm going to tell you there are those who have generations of children going to be a psychiatrist, etc. There is no way of working as a doctor. I'm 74. But I do feel if you can find the records, I'll call CMNC, see if they'll even give me my blood type. I don't have to be there to have the insurance. I was told it doesn't have to be that case. I have that amount of money, I work with it. I do have to eat a little more, and they have to quit trying to be thinner than I am anyway. I have more compassion for the anorexics, if demanded so, than I do for those voluptuous. They slaughtered at a level that is unbelievable, yet I am not against it. Agnes and our family gained weight later in life. We were not overeating. They ate 3 meals a day. I don't know how they did salad or whatever. No Italian. This is old country. Some Italians married some Waterford and County Cork, Ireland. Different kind of Italian. And the French is married in, but a good French. You've got the background on the nuns that were not a problem to me. Now, that is very important. We've discussed that. It is important. I was ruined in everything. Wiped out. I'm older, useless to them. And that was literally said to me. Mentally, etc., you're useless to them because they have generations, degrees. I don't want to be useless for that boy. And I need a mate who's willing to. I am challenging you when you said we can do that for you. Is there something you can't do for me? I would have to ask that question in the subtlety of this analysis. You have a beautiful day. It would be required of me. And because you've been decent, I am sharing it with you. It's not your fault. Yeah, I have to solve my future. There's another element of this also, liquid diets. In Lisbon, they had diet programs in which set up an added part of the Catholic faith, in which you started in liquid and you added a little more in. You want to know how crazy that was to me? There's a place in Lewiston that is what they do. Now, I don't believe in that. It hinges on Seventh-day Adventist stuff. And Christ doing a fasting. Now, I'm telling you, they're wacko on that. Only God can do that. Now, fasting, I don't believe it's part of any kind of situation of cleansing one. You're supposed to be able to tell me on this. I get very angry on this subject matter because they tamper with the scale. The sonar is tough enough. There's some wacko connected with it in here that's hung up on this subject. I've described that in writing. It's very important on this subject of eating. And this goes way back. And I don't want I don't need a colonoscopy. I have fought with the medical industry for years. I can't be physically invaded. And that is where this is at. And boy, I don't want anything stuck down my throat, ever. I want to come home and I'll handle this. I am not trusting that element, period, in today's society right now. Very important. Now, liquid diets and fasting and going, you can't go 40 days and 40 nights. Why don't you keel over and go in a hospital and be fed by intravenous? Now, this is not proper stuff. And that has been going on. I know it was the Catholic section in Lisbon. I know there's a place on Main Street, I'm trying to think where I saw it, in Lewiston, and I know that there is some of that going on. Now, the other situation is I'm old country. I'm all of what you say, but I have to add meat in the picture. I know a bit about Seventh-day Adventists. I'm not their faith at all, but about their food. B6, I use bees. And see, I'm still keeping that because I've been worn out a bit due to this mess. So I can lower that perhaps. I do drink stuff that is plenty loaded with vitamin C. And I have to up some of the portions a little. I work with that. But it's contingent on my budget. And that is a fact also. So that is what I'm dealing with. Occasionally I'd add in something like zucchini cake, chocolate zucchini cake, and a ganache on top. Gives it a little sweet. Applesauce cake with a slight bit of maple frosting, which is maple syrup, a little. Basically, I ganache the thing a bit, only for a little bit of sweet. I've had to do that because of the less portion for this month in the finances. I do want to pay you something if this lease can ever be signed and I can move forward on this. That is what I don't agree with also. You're young. Maybe you don't even need it or want it. Maybe you do well. I do require meat and fish when I can afford it. I require it. My body requires it. It requires cheese, buttermilk, cooking. I have to make some salad dressing today. Buttermilk, I've got some left. I try to use as much as I have. I use some honey carrots in the spinach and cream and cheese. Better than the onions in that recipe. I generally use a little garlic or garlic powder, etc. Now, I work with that and I can't do dash. I work with that salt. I need on potatoes a bit, salt on eggs. It's pretty well toned down with seasoning. Cooking wine, told you I can only smell liquor. It's in there in case there was somebody wanted something. Orange bitters, and I have that's in the cabinet, and I have some cherries. Technically, one would add a little bit of sugar, a little bit bourbon or old-fashioned, and that is the only thing I can do.